What is going on, everybody? I'm your man, Rob Westerman of GBP Daily, and joining me, as always, is my man, Johnathan Beckman, for the seventh ever episode of Pack Casual. John,
7.
how are we freaking doing, buddy? How we doing?
Doing good. I think I was proven a little bit wrong. Green Bay came to play, baby.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you knew me before the game. I was a little nervous. I felt like what we've seen in the last 2 or 3 years we might see more of, and instead we turned into the bullies on Sunday night.
Yes, sir. At least for the first half, up until the kickoff coverage
Yeah.
bluster. But hey, what do you do, right? What do you do? Speaking of Sunday night's win, let's talk about Devontae Adams. Now let's kick it off with the stud, shall we?
Shall we?
All right. Well, we all saw it. The dude gets completely smashed on like a head hunting type of hit. No flag, no nothing. The camera zooms in on him, which was kind of weird. Shows that he's obviously out of sorts, and then comes back into the game not too long after to catch two clutch passes from the GOAT to set up the game winner. How tough is this guy? And is he the best receiver in the game?
Yeah, it was kind of funny because when you're watching it live, you're obviously like, okay, hopefully he's not seriously injured. Hopefully this is a weak thing. I mean, if we dial back to when was it Trevathan knocked him out, like what was it, 4 years ago, something like that, and then all of a sudden he came back the next week. It just, I mean, for some reason that guy's got 9 lives.
Dude.
I mean, it was kind of interesting because I thought he was knocked out because the way his arm looked limp and everything like that.
Oh, and then when they shot it on his face, yeah, it looked like he was just like unconscious almost.
Yeah, I think they said like 4 minutes, like from one play that he was out, which was kind of interesting. Obviously, everybody was freaking out about concussion protocol and all that. But at the end of the day, if the guy didn't have a concussion, what's there to freak out about? I mean, he was cleared both by the team doctor and by their neurologist or whatever it is that they have on the sideline that was actually from San Francisco. So it's not like they had any home cooking or any of that.
Yeah.
But is he the best receiver in the NFL? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to say so. I mean, really the only other guy I'd put up there for me would be D-Hop. I think Hopkins is up there.
Yep.
But I mean, I think they're both, those two guys are kind of your 1A, 1B if you ask me. And I'm top 2, not 2 when it comes to him.
Yes, sir.
I saw a stat that he has 20 touchdowns in his last 20 games. And so does Aaron Jones, and that's the first time in Green Bay history, and I would probably venture to say in pretty much anyone's history that that type of stat line. I mean, the guy's
nuts.
The guy's got it all.
He's got it all. Yeah, I think I saw that too from a Packers history is what I saw that on. Obviously, the whole no weapons thing for Aaron Rodgers is kind of dead and gone. Obviously, they have those two, and obviously Big Bob now and whatnot. So, in my opinion, yes, he's the best receiver in the game. He does it all, the route running, the catches now. I mean, obviously early on he was dropping, and that's cool. Like kind of like MVS past few years, been dropping a little bit, but the NFC Championship game last year he wrecked, and when he's got the ball in a catchable spot this year, I mean, so far he hasn't let down. So sticking with the receiver position, MVS hurts his hamstring late in the game. Not sure the severity of it, but he didn't practice today, and Coach said during his presser earlier that he'll have all week to see if he can play on Sunday. My question for you, if it hinders him for any decent amount of time, say maybe 3, 4, 5 weeks, who steps up in his place as far as a deep threat or potentially at the wide receiver 2 position?
For some reason, it doesn't seem like it'd be like your prototypical, but I mean, for some reason, based on the last 2 years, I mean, he's not your typical deep receiver, but we send Lazard deep often. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but I mean, if you go dial back to the Saints game last year,
for me too.
they hit him deep on there. Rodgers tried to hit him deep 2 or 3 times right off the bat last week. I mean, he's not your deep receiver normally. And normally you don't really see too much of Devontae Adams going deep, but it kind of looked like they've accepted that role of that they were saying he kind of just said, throw the ball up to me and let me make the play.
Yep.
And I mean, that's what got him hurt, but hey,
yeah. Which
that's probably what they would do, I would say.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm taking a little bit different approach. I agree with you for sure. If we're sticking to wide receivers, I think Lazard's the guy, and maybe we'll see a little bit more of Cobb. But I think we'll see more balls go to Big Bob and maybe see Aaron Jones kind of involved in the pass game a little more. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I mean, I think our offense is best when we do that. But as far as target share, I mean, what did MVS have like 4 targets, I think, on Sunday? So, I mean, there's the argument of too much or, too much Devontae Adams. But what's too much Devontae Adams?
Right.
I mean, I know Rodgers. I mean, because it seems like one of those things that Rodgers kept saying like last year and the last 2 years when they struggled was, obviously they got away from the run game a little bit, but it was just like, I just don't throw it to Devontae enough. He's like, the dude's too good not to throw the ball to. Throw him the ball 50. I mean, I'm not saying throw him the ball 50 times a game, but hey, give that guy, throw the ball his way.
Yeah, I know when they were talking to Aaron Rodgers post game on Sunday, they're like, so what were you thinking coming out there, 37 seconds left, and what do you say? Get the ball to Tay, baby. Yeah. Get the ball to Tay. Come on now. Good Lord.
Yeah. So you're just saying yours is more of a collective approach. I mean, yep. I think Lazard would probably get a couple deep ones.
I think so too.
But
if he can stay upright, he's scoring. Because he's seen him falling down a couple times when he's got those deep balls, or like the Saints game, he's already falling down and then still makes the catch. And yeah,
I was surprised we were able to get some of that many deep balls off because, I mean, you knew me before the game. You asked me about our next topic, Josh Nijman, and what I thought. and what did I say? He's going to get killed.
Yeah, you did say that.
And then what happened on the first drive? He got killed. I mean, 4 times he got killed. But then literally after that, nothing out of Bosa.
It's like the first game of the season for the Packers. It's an anomaly, just like his first drive was. Because like you said, I think he had the face mask. I think he had another penalty on that drive.
Bosa knocked that quick ball to MVS down, but Rodgers actually fumbled that snap a little bit, but still.
Well, that was that screen pass to the left. Yep.
That's still on him. I mean, obviously that's a great play by Bosa. I mean, you expect Bosa to have a really good game no matter almost who he's going against, unless it's Bakhtiari maybe.
Right.
But, I mean, really.
He did good.
That is about as impressive of a performance outside of the first drive that we've seen like a lineman, not a big name lineman in Green Bay, have in. I mean, we've seen so many struggles from some of our offensive linemen that were not our big guys in the past. Like, I don't want to throw too many names out there, but Marshall Newhouse had some rough ones going and stuff like that. But I mean, he went against Bosa, literally a top 3, 4, 5, 2, 1,
whatever you want to say, right?
Pass rusher in the league, and he literally you didn't hear from it after that.
Yep.
So that was for me. I was like, hell yeah.
No doubt, dude. No doubt. So for Josh, how good did he actually play Sunday night? He played freaking stellar. I just want to start. Mr. Nijman. I think that's how you pronounce his last name is Nijman with the silent J, or it's Nijman. I've heard it called both on the broadcast. I'm going to go with Nijman. In honor of Chris Collinsworth, and by the way, the Sunday Night Football crew is usually my favorite. I don't know if you agree. On Sunday, I just thought they were just terrible, especially when they hit the game winner. He's like, I think Al Michaels was like, and he hits the field goal to win the game, and then like that's it. Super low key, monotone. I was like, I wish the radio broadcast of the Packers I get it lined up correctly, but that just seems to be almost impossible. So, anyways, sorry. In honor of Chris Collinsworth, here's a guy who hasn't started in a game since 2018. Gets the call.
Here's the guy.
Here's the guy. So he gets the call to play left tackle in what I'm assuming was in the middle of the week on the road. And most importantly, he has to go up against Nick Bosa, one of the best edge rushers in the game. Like you just said, he allowed no sacks, no pressures. The dude just balled out in a crazy environment. And along with JRJ, Josh Myers, and Royce Newman, they all played a hell of a game, obviously against one of the better defensive fronts in the league. My question for you, were you nervous for him, or how'd you feel about the O-line heading into that Sunday night? I know we talked about it last week, but just to kind of refresh everybody's minds here, how are you feeling?
I mean, I literally thought that I texted my friends group chat, 12 of us that would do fantasy football every year. And I said, I can't remember what I said, but I said something along the lines of Aaron Rodgers is about to get his ass kicked all night. Because I was just nervous.
Wow.
Like I've seen Green Bay's line go against some of these really good D lines. I'm being honest. I thought between Eric Armstead,
Javon Kinlaw,
D Ford, Bosa. You really can't get much better than that across the line as a front, and then Fred Warner. Yep. I thought Green Bay was going to be in trouble. I really did. But they came out with a really good game plan, doing the short stuff, running the ball and whatnot. But then as the game went on, it almost didn't even seem like it mattered that if they called the short stuff, because Rodgers was clean pretty much most all the whole night. Yeah, so honestly, everything was going. There was a few execution errors, but
like the 4th and 1 play call.
That had me.
It is what it is. I don't know. James, thanks for tuning in, man. Says the defense looked good also. They did look good. They pitched
the best they've looked all year.
Yeah, they almost went 4 quarters with pitching a shutout. Obviously, the second half against the Lions, and then the first half pitched a shutout up until the kickoff coverage unit, which just seems to fail in the worst moments at the worst times. Gave up that, and if it wasn't for Mason Crosby, it would have been a touchdown. Which when I saw that, I was just like,
Mason Crosby.
Like, how does that even happen? We talk about this all the time off air and whatever during the week, during the game, that it seems like remember during that the Eagles game last year, the same thing happened, and it's just like, come on. And then they give up the punt return again on the Eagles game. Anyways, I agree. Defense looked good. We'll get on that here in a minute. Before we do, Mason freaking Crosby, man. This dude, I'm freaking telling you, as Ty Schmidt of the Pat McAfee Show said Sunday night, he has testes of steel. He's got testes of steel, I'm telling you. This guy has been as constant as can be over the years. And like they said on the broadcast, he's one of the more respected players in this team, which isn't often said about kickers. Which kick to you was more impressive? Sunday nights or the game winner against Dallas back in 2017 in the playoffs?
I've got videos of my reactions to both, and both of them, I
didn't see the reaction to this last Sunday night. So you got time to kind of throw it up here, or what?
Let me see if I can get that up. Send it to myself and see if I can get it on the computer. But what one was more impressive? Oh God,
it's a tough one. They're both just balling out kicks. Jeez.
Which one was kicked better? The one that was kicked better was against the 49ers.
No,
the one against Dallas was like, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
And then it freaking goes in, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, which one is more impressive? You always got to say the one in the playoffs because it's do or die. But
The one of the playoffs we were tied. So
honestly, but this was such a. It's one game. It's week 3. We're so far from the end of the road. So it's like at the end of the day, it's never. But everyone will always remember this. I mean, it was a huge. I mean, it was a huge win as far as the 49ers are pretty much full strength minus a couple running backs, and I don't think that even really mattered. I don't think
Trey Sermon played well. When they decided to give him the ball,
I mean, I think they were. I mean, I'm taking the easy way out, but both kicks were huge kicks. Yeah, I mean,
massive,
huge kicks.
I mean, this isn't a season-defining kick, but it at the same time kind of is, because if we start off 1-2, and then we lose to the Niners, who could be in the race towards the end of the year as far as seeding and whatnot, like, and other teams when we're playing, when they stack up the NFC wins, like, that's a massive game. Okay. And it's an away game.
So you asked the question, but did you have an answer for yourself?
I do, yes. So you said Dallas. To me, it's Dallas as well. Obviously, it's a playoff game winner, not regular season. Second off, the bad man had to do it twice. Because the Cowboys called timeout.
That's what I was going to say too.
He did it twice. The Cowboys called timeout right before he nailed the first one.
Give him that left hash every single time from 51. Right?
All for him to come out and nail it again and break every Cowboys fan's hearts. That year they were the 1 seed. They had Dak as a rookie, and Zeke obviously was wrecking. That team was good.
Yeah, they had a really good offensive line.
They had a good old line. I've said it time and time again. I've told you, Mason Crosby is one of my favorite Packers of all time. He's been as consistent and obviously one of the few guys that have been with the team like during my adulthood and like late childhood.
Yeah.
I just freaking love that guy, and we're all going to miss him obviously when he's gone. So
yeah. Quick thing before we move on. I said there was some stat that he's made like 94% of his field goals since that really bad year that he had, where it was like, oh crap, he might get released. What was it, like 5 years ago? He's made like 94% of his field goals.
That's nuts.
I mean, literally, and they
always probably 99% of his extra points because.
And you play in green. Well, he's made like 97% of his extra points and 94% of his field goals. And that's playing in Green Bay.
Yeah.
That's 8 games outside.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
The second half is in the freezing cold.
Yeah, and so you're talking about probably 12 out of the 16 games that you have to go to Soldier Field.
Yep.
And that's a mess.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got about as hard. The only person that's going to make the case for being a better kicker right now is people will argue Tucker and whatever.
Yeah. I'll give it a couple years ago, maybe Matt Prater, but
that guy's going to find the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, obviously, there's no denying that, especially after this last week in which.
But at the end of the day, Mason Crosby. I mean, the guy's good.
He's good. All right, go for it.
I mean, he's one of the
one of the GOATs, baby.
Only guys that's been with Rodgers for this long.
Right, all-time leading scorer for the Packers. Like, are you kidding me? Come on.
So let's talk about him.
Let's do it.
Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers, baby.
He played lights out. Okay.
Yes,
So I was on Xbox last night with one of my friends, and we were talking about how they started off week 1 versus week 2 and week 3. And he's telling me, just like everyone else,
stop it.
Oh, well, maybe the quarterback should have been there in the off season, and that's why week 1 happened like that.
Don't tell me this was Connor.
No, it wasn't. It was Michael Ralph.
Oh, come on, buddy.
I'm sorry. Your argument would make sense if week 2 didn't happen and week 3 didn't happen. But week 2, I don't care if it was the Lions or not, Rodgers played a great game. Played a great game against the 49ers. I'm sorry, but there's some players and some – Rodgers has been with his – it's not like there's a bunch of new receivers. It's not like there's a bunch of new offense. This is the third year of the offense now. I mean, for all the people that are trying to hate on Rodgers, I mean, they just had a really bad game. And they usually have 1 or 2 of those every year.
Well, in the first half, they ran like 12 plays up until the last second drive. Like, it's one of those weird games that you just hope doesn't happen in the playoffs because it just those games suck. Because it's like I haven't even seen the offense out there because one, the defense is giving up 10-minute drives and a touchdown, and then of course we come out and we have like a drive where it's like we get a first, second down, and it's third down, and then we throw it, and then like this last year before, it'd be like an MVS drop, and it'd be like, oh my gosh, like goodness sakes, and then our team.
The other thing that gets me, and actually it was a really good camera job. So whoever did it did take the side view of Rodgers, like when they were winning the game. That was a really good video. When he's jumping up in the air and all that.
Yep.
And you know how everybody took it on ESPN and this is.
Yeah.
Oh, look at his enthusiasm. Look how he cares. And then even like kind of the Packers Twitter account kind of like saying like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Look at him. Look at everybody's trying to blow up. It's like, really? The guy cares. Like, are we this stupid?
Did he need to be thrilled about a game winner?
Are we this stupid and naive?
Like, come on. He said himself that he's 100% in when he was there. Like, what else do you not believe the guy you're reporting about going up making up lies? Why don't you just believe what he said himself?
I know he has some sort of diva in him as far as like he's willing to speak out and be a voice. So that part of it. But the whole, I don't know.
The whole I don't care thing.
He's not always been, I'm sure, in the right, and he's been arrogant at times, and I get it. But at the end of the day, I roll with him.
Yes, sir, baby.
I ride or die.
Yes,
I'm taking him. 37 seconds, no timeouts. I mean,
I'm taking him with anybody on the field. I don't give a shit if it's Johnathan or Jeff Janis.
Like, and don't. So let's flip this, right? And just a little bit off topic, but not really. Mahomes has been in the opportunity to win their last two games and had drives at the end of the game. Both of them they failed. Imagine if Aaron Rodgers fails like he has. Now, the 2 games ago, it was Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled the ball. They would find a way.
Before that, I think
they would find a way, right? But they would find a way to spin it that Rodgers failed, or they were up 17. Because that was the thing as well. They're like, oh, Rodgers has never lost a game when he's been up 17 points. Okay, cool. Well, they were up 17-0, were they not? Or I don't know.
Yeah, 17-zip. Yep.
So, but then the offense didn't see the ball for 21 plays in like 9 minutes. So
17-14 all of a sudden.
So it was exactly 17-14. So it's like, he was up 17-0. And I don't even say Green Bay was up 17-0.
Yep.
And it was 17-14 before the offense saw the ball again. So it's like that type of stats can be skewed.
They're skewed, yeah.
I've always believed the guy's going to be all in. I mean, I get it. He's not perfect as far as the drama and the issues, but at the end of the day, I ride or die with that guy.
Yes, sir.
It's me.
All right. Should we talk about Rodgers a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. This bad man had some freaking throws, dude, that were absolute seeds. Like the touchdown throw to MVS in the corner of the end zone where it probably grazes the fingers of the DB. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like the 2 darts to Devontae in clutch time, the one where it was a little farther off Fred Warner's hands, but come on, man. Like I was watching a video and it said, watch where Devontae is when he releases the ball. And Devontae's not even like barely breaking across another 5-10 yards to go get that ball by the time he throws it. And it's just nuts. It's beautiful to see. Here's his official stat line from Sunday. 23-33, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Obviously, the stat sheet isn't eye-popping, but the throws he made, the energy he showed during the game, obviously specifically during the last drive and Crosby field goal, that's the Aaron Rodgers we know and love, baby. And what is he, John? He's back.
Bad man.
He's back, baby. He's reigning MVP.
Well, so, and then another thing that, when he threw that touchdown to MVS, I said out loud, I'm like, Oh, that was naughty.
That was freaking. When you told me that, I was like, yes,
My
that
wife,
is
my wife,
naughty.
my wife looks at me and she's like, naughty? I'm like, that was naughty.
Literally just straight bad. Like, are you serious? When I saw that, I was like, are you joking? And then obviously MBS, I mean, makes the catch. Credit to him.
Yeah. Oh,
But
credit
come on,
to
I mean,
him. Yeah.
it's literally right here for him to grab, like in his hands. Boom,
Yeah,
2-3 feet down.
and you know what's actually kind of interesting? I know Rodgers talked about how his throw to Devontae at the end of the game wasn't very good. You know how he had done the back shoulder ones, but then he threw the one in front of him, and he felt like he should have thrown it up.
Yeah.
The one, if you look at that though, like that was a really good defensive play by the 49ers corner to get his hand there. But if you think about it, when he threw that ball reminded me. I don't know if you had any sort of flashbacks, but can you visualize the play that I'm talking about right now?
The Cowboys one or what?
No. Do you remember the Eagles touchdown when Rodgers threw that touchdown to Devontae a couple years ago?
Where it just fell, in his arms and right at the end of the end zone?
That literally was flashbacks for me. So it's like, he's complaining that he didn't think he threw a nice ball. And it's like, hey, man, the defender made a great play.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the ball was going to be right there. I mean,
he was all over him not all over him like interference wise, but just all over him like just coverage wise.
Yeah, it was good. It was good defense, but whatever. I mean,
the dude freaking balled out. I mean, it sucks that he had that week 1 game because man, if he had an average week 1 game and then has these 2 weeks of games and then obviously leading them down the field, like he's probably number 1 in MVP discussion, obviously super early. But shoot, if he keeps going like this for the rest of the season or at least halfway through, he's gonna be up there again. Gonna pull my boy Giannis a couple years ago, back to back, baby, back to back MVPs. Hopefully, Super Bowl MVP this year. All right, we all talk about Aaron Rodgers enough. Let's talk about the DB group as a whole. Savage had a great open field tackle on George Kittle for a loss, which never happens because he's just a stud, George Kittle. Adrian Amos' name is never called, which more often than not is a good thing. He's kind of just the anchor back there, locking things down, making sure everybody's in position. Jair had a pick where he came out of nowhere to grab. The new guy, Eric Stokes, baby. He seems to be in position at the catch point every time the ball is thrown his way. I don't know if you noticed that too. Mm-hmm. I know he's gotten some calls not go his way. One of them being that just atrocious.
That pass interference was.
That was just so. It was an atrocious. It was on a 3rd and long to extend what would turn into a touchdown drive for the Niners, which is just unfortunate.
Do they call that if that's Jair? I don't know. Because
it's so bad, dude. It was so bad. And so speaking of all that, what has impressed you the most with this group so far? Is it Savage's play? He's kind of coming on the rise. Is it Stokes' confidence when he gets those flags thrown? He's still there and not grabby, but he's all over him.
Yeah.
Or Adrian Amos' consistency. What takes it for you?
Of those 3, because I'm about to tell you, if you're giving me the 4th option of Jair Alexander, I'm sorry, but the dude is a freak.
No, yeah. No, I was just giving out examples.
We all know that.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, the touchdown Debo had that one catch where Jair was right in between where Debo was like this, and he had his hands there and got his hand. That's a hell of a catch.
Are you talking about a touchdown catch or that 3rd down catch?
The 3rd down catch.
Oh, my gosh. It was so painful. The ball was
there. Jair comes up underneath.
He, caught it, and then it, flew down.
His hand there and even did it, and that's a hell of a catch. You can't get better coverage than that. But that's not what, that's a tangent in itself.
Yep.
Jair's freaking incredible. Darnell Savage was really freaking good. Side note, Green Bay is tied for the least missed tackles or the fewest missed tackles in the NFL. Oh, that's huge.
That's huge. Such an improvement because our last few years are last.
Yeah.
Because of Kevin King.
I mean, obviously, I'm really happy with how Stokes has played in the last 6 quarters. But Darnell Savage obviously played a heck of a good game. Yeah. I mean, he came up on a few of them. He did take a bad angle on Kittle, I think, towards the end of the game that kind of really irked me. But the go ahead touchdown drive. Yeah,
that play was just a backbreaker.
Yeah, and then Amos is just so consistent. I mean, he's literally remember when the Bears fans said that they won the haha Clinton Dix, Adrian Amos.
Well,
It's
ha
like
ha, mother truckers.
haha.
Like,
Adrian, I'm sorry, but Adrian, that dude is just consistent as hell. I
and like I
mean,
said earlier, you never hear his name called because he's always in the right. He's never doing anything wrong. Like, come on. I love watching him because, yeah, he's always doing the right thing. He seems to be – you got
yeah,
that veteran rookie – not rookie anymore, but that
yeah,
veteran newbie combo back there. Let Savage go and take some risks knowing that you got Amos back to kind of being a blanket-ish, to kind of make up for some of those maybe not rookie
right.
mistakes, but young guy mistakes. So,
Yeah. I mean, hey, they play. Defensively, they played what Green Bay played well. I mean, to be honest with you, those routes that 7-stop route, that corner, when they run that corner route, and like in most, we run the 7 route a lot with our guys that I coach, but they ran a lot of those 7, and then the corner route stopped. I mean, that's hard to defend.
Yeah.
And
their receivers are good, dude. I mean, Deebo Samuel's quick, good. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk.
Strong hands, man.
Someone had said earlier before the season started that Brandon Ayuk is going to be the next Devontae Adams or like on his level, which I read that and I was like, come on, man. Like, you could just say he's going to be good this year and not have to, disrespect Devontae or nobody's on his level. And that just it went to show the other night. Like, nobody's on his level. And especially when he's got Aaron Rodgers throwing him seeds, like, no, it just ain't gonna happen. So moving on, something that usually wouldn't mean a lot to fans is how their punter is doing week in and week out. But luckily for us, Johnny, us Packer fans, this has kind of been a point of emphasis ever since J.K. Scott was misfiring during the most crucial moments of games. So our punter Corey B. I'd try to say his name 100 different times. I'm going to call him Corey B. Johnny, have we found ourselves a punter? That's the first part of the question. Second part is, what in the hell is wrong with our kickoff coverage unit? You're a high school football coach. What's wrong with it?
Well, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it is there clearly is not enough Alan Lazards on it. I don't know if did you see that, what LaFleur said? Alan Lazard literally said, put me on there. This shit ain't happening again. Put me on there. And those
guy, he sees there's an issue, and then he's like, "Get me on there because I know I'm going to fix it."
It is so rare for an NFL guy to do that. I would think like you don't see a bunch of that. You try even at a high school level to not have as many of your starters on there because to give them a little bit of a break. Have a guy run 60 yards before he has to play a full set of downs.
Yep.
But you get a guy like Lazard who just seems to want to do all the dirty work. And I'm sorry, but that guy, I hope he gets re-signed no matter what.
Me too, dude. I mean, man, catch the ball, he's been almost automatic. It seems like he's always catching third down balls, whether they're 8, 10, 15, whatever for I mean, he's always catching them.
And then that one of our touchdowns, he had a block on Bosa. They literally set him up. They said 1-on-1, Alan Lazard, you're blocking Bosa.
Dude, he's freaking jacked this year.
How many receivers
Alan is
how many receivers get a job
assigned to them
to 1-on-1 block Joey Bosa?
Yeah, I heard Coach talking about that in his presser today about that.
Or maybe it could have been meant to be a double team too as well, but it doesn't matter. He 1-on-1 them, and that was, I mean,
it was impressive.
That's so invaluable. I mean, you can't. I'll take that all day. He doesn't have to be the number 1 receiver. Doesn't have to be the number 2 receiver. But if that guy's my number 3, I'm good because he's reliable as hell.
Yep, he doesn't get hurt very often. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Sticking with Coach here, can we just talk about the freaking genius right now? The guy is 28-7 during the regular season since he's been here. Did you hear me, Johnny? 28-7. That's insane. That's like an 800 winning percentage. Also 2-2 in the postseason, as I might add, but we're not going to talk about that. I remember how I felt when he was hired a few years back. I really just didn't know much about him. Only thing I knew was he was kind of a part of that McVay clan when it came to running offenses, and obviously it turned out great. But in general, I want to ask you in general, what coaches in the league right now do you have ranked above him, if any?
I would say, I mean, you got your obviouses. I mean, it's so hard. It's hard to not have Bill Belichick at the top. You're gonna have your obviouses, right? You're gonna have your Belichick, your Sean Payton, your Pete Carrolls,
Mike Tomlins,
your John Harbaugh, your Andy Reid, and Mike Tomlin. So really, I would say, and then I guess you could say Sean McVay as well. The only reason why I understand Bruce Arians won the Super Bowl last year, but I feel like it seemed like a couple years ago, like he just wasn't. Nobody really looked at him as that. I mean,
right when he was with the Cardinals.
Really, when you're talking about consistency, you got what? Belichick, Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, John Harbaugh. Who am I missing?
Mike
Tomlin, Andy Reid.
Yeah.
And then Sean McVay is kind of young. I mean, I think Shanahan seems to be really good too. So there's eight really good coaches. So no matter what, because of consistency, I can't put him above Belichick. Probably can't put him ahead Sean Payton just because these guys have been doing it.
Right, and he's won a Super Bowl.
And like
Carroll's won a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin's won 2 Super Bowls, been to 3, where we beat that ass at Super Bowl 45.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say I would put him, but I mean, just out of respect of longevity of the guys before him, you could probably put him around 6 to 8.
Yep,
that's for me.
I agree. And he's in year 3. If he's on this tear for another 2-3 years without a Super Bowl win, he's moving up. But if we win the Super Bowl this year, which I fully expect to do, then he's better than McVay.
Longevity when it comes to coaching, it can't be a what did you do 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. You have to show success over a long period of time.
Well, Matt Nagy took Mitch Trubisky and them guys to the to the playoffs.
Yeah, okay.
Only to lose to the guy who's their 3rd string on their own team. Like,
yeah. So I'd say that's where I put him right now. So that's kind of where my stance.
I'm with you there. I agree on all points. Obviously, there's plenty ahead of him. Bill Belichick being the best, one of the best coaches of all time. Probably is the 2nd best coach of all time behind Vince Lombardi. So, anyways, before we move on to the Steelers, let's check in on what's happening around the NFC North. Obviously, we just got done playing the Lions. They're now 0-3 after Justin Tucker bounced in that 66-yarder NFL record kick, which was just insane. Vikings are 1-2.
Poor Lions.
Poor Lions, dude. They were ahead of us. Like, they came back and almost beat the 49ers.
We got that Hail Mary on the Hail Mary. Man, they
must suck.
I would say, honestly, I would say they be going through it. But everyone expects them to be bad. They're bad most every year. So honestly, the expectations aren't that high. I mean, if anything, it's more heartbreaking to be a Packers fan, right? Because you have all this potential and whatnot, and we've actually seen the failures at the highest level in the NFC Championship games. So you know what? I don't really feel bad for them. It's fun.
Neither do I. So Lions are 0-3. Vikings are 1-2, and to me look pretty good. They played the Seahawks this last weekend, and that was without Dalvin Cook. Let me ask you, are they a team we need to keep our eye on, or will they fade off kind of as the season rolls on?
The Vikings.
They play the Browns next week.
I just think that, somebody's got to be there, right? Somebody's got to be there. So I think they'll be there. I don't know. I just can't. We're 3 weeks in, so I don't know. It's hard to make a real judgment until week 6 for me. Yeah. But
about a third,
I think
halfway through the season.
I truly believe they're most people I think would agree the Vikings are kind of that second team in the NFC North. I think Green Bay for a while, I thought that the Vikings were more talented at times in some years than Green Bay in the last 10 years, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think Green Bay's more talented now. And I think that was that, and that's the difference is they could compete with Green Bay somewhat when they were more talented, but now Green Bay is more talented, but they still have the intangibles of, and they've got the Aaron Rodgers, the Mason Crosbys, the David Bakhtiari. I mean, when you're talking about Green Bay's best 3 players, I mean, Green Bay has 3 or 4 players on their team that are better than any player on the Vikings. If you talk about being valuable, because I get it, Dalvin Cook is really freaking good, but I'm not going to say a running back is. I mean, David Bakhtiari, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Rodgers.
Dude,
I mean,
Dalvin's always hurt. Like, come on. Yeah. I had the number 1 overall pick, and they said, why aren't you taking Dalvin Cook and Christian McCaffrey? I was like, because they're about to get hurt. And look what happened. They're both hurt. Like, Dalvin, I knew for sure was going to get hurt.
I think they'll keep an eye. I think they'll fade. So I guess I have to answer your question. You said is keep an eye on them, or will they fade? I think they'll fade. That's just a prediction. Since you're asking for a prediction, I think they'll fade. Obviously you keep an eye on them, but I think I just would assume based on recency of the last few years, Green Bay is probably going to just pull ahead by 3 games eventually. Whether that's week 13 or week, I don't know. But that's just, that can change a ton. But the Bears are 1-2. How bad are the Bears? And is throwing Justin Fields into the fire. What was it time? Like, was it already time for them? Yeah, I think Nagy said we've got 3 guys that are fighting for the number 1 job. I made a joke with a couple of my friends the other day as well. A couple of the buddies, they were talking, they sent that article to the group chat, and I was like, is Matt Nagy like literally
an idiot?
Like, I mean, is he gonna if the Bears, they're 1-2, right? Is that I mean, if they start 2-5, like, do they literally? Is it? I mean, I'd be curious to know that is Nagy's job on the line.
I mean, I think it should be. I saw the same report you did, obviously, where you said, Justin Fields, the adult, Nick Foles are all under consideration to start this weekend's game against the Lions.
Like, man, you can't have.
How do you have a QB competition between 3 guys? Not between 2, between 3 in the third week of the season. Like
in the NFL, that just you don't like. That just means you don't have one real guy that.
Right? No, and like I've said it many times on Twitter. I've said to you, I wasn't thrilled. I was with you during the first round of the draft. I wasn't thrilled when they drafted Fields because I think he's a talented player with a lot of potential. But if there's any franchise that can ruin a QB's career, we all know it's the Bears, obviously, especially with Matt Nagy at the helm. Do I think playing him right now is the right move? At first, they said no and went with Dalton, and obviously he got hurt, so they didn't really have a choice. But either way, I would have started him from day one, given him all the first-team reps during training camp and whatnot, and have him get the experience this year as opposed to him just watching from the sidelines. I know that's kind of been the famous thing, obviously, with Rodgers and Mahomes and stuff, but it's like, I mean, look at Justin Herbert. He came and played all last year, and now he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I would have started him from day one. All in all, it's going to be hard to play for, obviously, a coach like Matt Nagy who doesn't seem to have it figured out. So regardless of what they do, they're still going to suck. So that's perfectly fine with me. So
yeah.
All right. Let's get a move on here. We've been rambling for about 45 minutes here. All right. Let's move on to week 4. Packers sit at 2-1. Steelers are coming to town, baby. Lambeau Field on Sunday, and they've won the last 5 regular season matchups against us. And hopefully that streak ends in a couple days. Pittsburgh beat the Bills week 1, which is kind of weird. And now they have lost 2 straight to the Raiders and Bengals. What do you think of them so far? Are they a good team? Obviously, you just said you wait till week 6 or 8 to kind of decide. What do you think so far through 3 weeks, what they look like?
I mean, Roethlisberger threw the ball 58 times last Sunday. My brother-in-law, he's a big Steelers fan, and last year he was texting me mid-season and all the way through the season, being like, talking about it, and I'm just like, why are they throwing the ball 60 times with Ben Roethlisberger?
I mean, they had James Conner last year. Was he hurt maybe last year? Or a little bit. They got Najee Harris this year. Like, I know they are throwing Najee Harris the ball a lot.
I was watching the stat line. Najee Harris had like 19 targets as a running back, 14 catches.
That's like more than Devontae.
I mean, if that doesn't tell you that they're doing way too many checkdowns and just with the receivers that they have, and I haven't looked at
Schuster and Deontay Johnson,
and Chase Claypool. I haven't.
Oh yeah, Chase. Those are three solid receivers.
Yeah, any team would take that core three. But I don't know how they are. Obviously it'll be interesting if TJ Watt comes back. I'm expecting. I didn't look at their injury report today, but they've got injuries at receiver too. If Green Bay, if they're hurt, that makes a big difference. Those key guys. The Steelers, to me, they're just kind of like a divisional round wild card team to me. Like, I just don't think they have that, like, oh, hey, this team's gonna make it to the. I think last year they had like 50 sacks last year.
Yeah, and they were undefeated for a while. Then they obviously lost like 4 straight.
And this year they're on a much lower pace. I mean, after week 1, I was like, shit,
Steelers are gonna be good. That's exactly what I thought.
But after losing these 2 games, and Roethlisberger throwing the ball 60 times, there's clearly something that's not right there.
No, I agree.
I just don't think. I think they're a good, really have a ton of talent. I think they're a good team. I just don't think they're. I just can't see them coming.
Legit. No,
I don't think they're like going to be in your AFC Championship game. I don't think, but
no, I agree. Speaking of the Steelers game, obviously MBS went down the other night. Elton was obviously out. I saw during Coach's presser today, he said he'll be giving Elton and MBS a week to try and be ready for Sunday's game. Elton with the ankle, obviously. MBS, as we said earlier, with the hamstring injury. If Elton can't go, is this week's challenge against TJ Watt and company as hard as last week's challenge against Bosa on the Niners front? Which one do you think is harder? I mean, if Watt's fully healthy.
Oh gosh, I was gonna say the 49ers front, but I don't know what the Steelers.
I think if TJ Watt's healthy, he's the best edge rusher in the game, but he might not be healthy. So
yeah, it makes it hard to really. I mean, Cameron Hayward's always obviously been good. I don't know much about some of these other guys. Chris Wormley.
It's been an unfamiliar opponent. I saw earlier in the presser the coach was talking about he hasn't played the Steelers on any of the teams he's been on since I think 2012.
Yeah,
obviously we haven't played them since 2017.
Yeah, it's an unfamiliar opponent. Like I just think it's harder. I think it was a harder task to go to San Francisco and play against that defense than it is to play at home versus the Steelers.
No,
the Steelers are very good. They are very good, and honestly, maybe they'll have the if they would have struggled really bad last week against those guys, I would have sat here and gone, "Here we go again." But they proved me wrong. They proved me wrong.
No, I agree with you. I think with like a legit week of preparation for Yash and some of the plans that kind of go with like Mercedes and those guys to help block, we'll be able to kind of manage their front for the most part. But that's kind of coming off a little bit of a high from Sunday night's game, and that's where I'm at. So moving on. Let's hop into a little prediction segment here for Sunday. I'll let you go first. Who wins? What's the score? What type of game do you think it'll be?
God, it just seems like the last year and a half, it's just like, does Green Bay score 30 points? They're just so good. Offensively, they're just so freaking good. Oh man, it's just like now am I going to do this? Am I going to give them too much credit for what they did last week? You know what I mean? Because I told you I didn't think it would work very well. I thought last week was like, man, I don't know. I really don't know. And now I'm not gonna walk in here. Oh, we're good now. I think this is another prove it game against a really good defense.
Think so?
So, but I think I like Green Bay's chances a little bit better in this one than I did last week. Especially being at home. Let's go with that 30 number. Let's go with that 30-24. Let's go
30-24.
Let's go 6 point. That could change. When we talk on Sunday, that might change for me.
If TJ Watt's out, we're scoring 40.
I'm going to go with an early prediction of 30-24.
Okay. It's going to be similar to last week, I think. Quality opponent, regardless of their record. They've got Mike Tomlin, one of the greatest coaches of all time, in my opinion. Not greatest of all time, but if you look at his resume, I mean, he's up there. He's probably a top 20, top 15 coach of all time, considering his wins. Let's see, I got it up right here. Dude, his wins, he's 146-80. And he's got 2 Super Bowls. He's been with the same team the entire time. Like, I don't know. That to me is just kind of nuts.
The only team Aaron Rodgers is not beating the regular season, but when he beat him, when he beat him though, the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl, baby. When it matters most, baby. So they got a good defense, obviously with Watt and them boys, and a Big Ben can play well, which it always seems to happen where like some cute quarterback struggling for a few games, and then we play him and they play like they're freaking MVP form. Anyways, I think they'll put up some points. I also think they can turn the ball over, which we've seen from Big Ben more recently, and that could just change the whole game, obviously. I think the Packers are just getting started on a little hot streak here, so I'm going to go 31-21 Packers. Similar to last game, I think we control it for the majority of the game, unless we surrender another special teams breakdown, which it wouldn't surprise me at this point. And I'm talking punt coverage or kickoff coverage. The punt may be great. The coverage, though, not much faith. So what was yours?
30-24.
30-24.
So
31-21. All right.
Before we go to the next prediction thing, I had a little bit of a trivia.
Let's do it.
How many career catches, does Aaron Rodgers have? How many catches does he have in his career? That is our question.
I know the answer to this one.
Total Aaron Rodgers catches.
How many did Brett Favre have? Did he have?
Oh,
I'm throwing you a trivia now.
I mean, his first catch or his first pass.
I had seen somebody comment under that trivia question when we posted it a while back that his first completion. Apparently, they don't count interceptions as completions, but his first completion was a pick six to I don't know who, but
yeah. So
Matt Cisco commented on Twitter. I posted on Twitter. Do we count it if he's not in the live?
Yeah, we got to count it, right?
He didn't come on the video and comment though. He replied to my tweet on Twitter.
Hey, I'll let you be in charge.
No, I'm throwing it to you. Do we give it to him or not? Oh, we got another one coming in. Rip KB 24. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant 24. Says 3.
Says 3.
Matt Cisco also says 3.
I haven't seen it in the chat what answers. So that I'll give it to you, man. It's all you.
All right, Matt Cisco. We'll give it to you. He was quick. I'll give it to him. Let's see if we got any more here. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Dylan 3.
So his catches he's had 3. He for negative 11 yards. 1 in 2012, 1 in 2020, and then 1 last Sunday night.
Good shit. That was a good trivia question. You came up with that one. That's a good one, and it's obviously relevant because he had one.
Yep.
So, all right. Before we close it down here, got a few things left. I'm going to name off the Packers games all the way up until their bye week in Week 13, and you tell me if it's going to be a win or loss in like a quick 10-second. Why you think that'll be the outcome? You ready?
Yep.
All right. You just named your Steelers prediction. You already gave that. So after the Steelers, we play the Bengals in Cincinnati.
Okay. Their offense is not good enough to match Green Bay's. So a win.
Win. Bears in Chicago.
It could be Bears in my backyard. It's a dub.
Washington at home.
Hot streak. Dub. I don't think I just don't think they've got the offense to hang with Green Bay either.
Nope. And their defenses seem to be overrated the past 2 weeks. They've been getting wrecked. Okay. Cardinals in Arizona on Thursday Night Football.
Thursday Night Football. I don't like that.
I don't either.
We're on a hot streak. That'd be.
That's 4 days after the Washington game. We're traveling way out to Arizona. I'm not trying to convince you anything here. I'm just giving you the ground rules here.
I know. No. Dub.
Let's go. And now we've kind of got like a mini bye heading into Arrowhead against Kansas City. What do we think?
I don't know if the Chiefs' run defense is. That's gonna be tough, man. That's your toss up. I got to give Green Bay two L's in this, and so I'll just give them. I'll say that's my on the fence one. That I don't like to throw out, say we're gonna lose, but I'd say that's if we're gonna lose, that's where it is.
Okay, next up, Seahawks at home.
I think that's another win. I think Rodgers out duels Russell Wilson in a high scoring game.
Okay. Vikings at US Bank Stadium.
34-24 Green Bay win.
Dub. I like it. You want to run back through those to me and I'll answer?
Yeah. Bengals,
baby. Like you said, their offense is not as good. I think their defense is okay. But no, I think we're going to win.
Too much. Bears.
Dub.
Reds.
No explanation.
I just called them the Redskins.
No explanation needed for that Bears dub.
Washington football team. I call them the Redskins.
Washington football team. Dub. Their defense is not as good as everybody thought. Offense, Taylor Heineke, not good.
Cardinals.
Loss. Short week. Traveling. Kyler Murray, you think we're going to contain him? I don't think it's happening. We're going to lose.
All right, Chiefs.
Dub. I think they're winning, baby. I really do. Not just because they're 1-2. I mean, I was watching the Super Bowl last year, and they just didn't look. I mean, they got the weapons in the world. I see Josh Gordon's coming to town, and maybe they'll have things figured out by then. But
yeah,
I think we're also going to have things figured out by then. We're going to have Z back, D-Bach back, hopefully. I think we're going to be sitting good. That's a win.
All right, Seahawks.
Win. I don't think they're as good as they have been in years prior. Obviously, Russell Wilson's super good. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett's good. But no, I think our offense is going to out-duel them, like you said. It'll be high scoring, but it's at home, so that's why I'm going with a win here. If it was in Seattle, I'd probably go the other way, but
okay,
I'm going win.
Vikings and then Rams. What you got for both of those?
Vikings. I think we're going to lose at US Bank. I do. That environment's probably going to be rocking, and they seem to be good. If Dalvin Cook's healthy, we'll lose. If not, then we'll win.
Cue my Aaron Jones shades. It don't matter. Lights aren't too bright for him. You answer the Ram. You answer the Rams one then.
Rams. They look good, and everybody seems to think they're the best team in the league. But I think we're going to beat them again at home. If it was in LA, then sure, maybe not. But I'm going to go with the win here. So, all right, we ran through those little predictions. You got any last words before we hop off? We're coming up on an hour here, over.
I do.
Let's hear it.
would like to. Did I? Let's do
You got
this.
you got a little something special, or what's happening here?
Yeah, I'm not I'm trying to share my screen. I got make sure you click share on them, not cancel. I'm going to try to give you
Let's go.
give you the how come this
A
isn't
reaction.
how come this isn't sharing, Jordy?
Say if you send it over to me through Twitter DM, I could throw it up too quick.
Let's see here.
Because I've seen your reactions, especially the one to the Lions Hail Mary game. Come on, come on!
I was throwing pillows. I was that game had me
That game, like you said, was so frustrating and so for something for us to finally go right at the end in that kind of way, just unreal. So I remember exactly where I was during that game. So I don't blame you. What do we got? Is it exciting?
I'm gonna try to send it right now.
All right, send GPD. I'll get her up.
It's sending right now. Just got load for you. There you go. It's got a little bit of vulgar language.
Does it?
Oh yeah, now it's not. It's letting me share now. So if
I got it. Oh, you want to go ahead and do it?
Yeah,
I'll let you do it. I was gonna say I got it too. Let me know when it's good, and I'll add to the stream here.
share screen. It went. It was allowing me to share, and then all of a sudden it didn't.
No, you're good. I got it right here.
All right, it's all you.
Okay. What we got here? So we got. Let's just break it down here. We got the shirt over the head. Is that the same shirt you're wearing right now?
It actually is. It is.
Oh my gosh! Come on. So we got the shirt. We got the shirt over the head. The same one you got on now hasn't been washed. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, let's get it. Ready?
Fuck you! Fuck you! Let's go!
Let's go!
I-
Don't say shit about that guy. Let's go! I freaking love that. I didn't even know you usually show me that stuff. You didn't tell me. That was legendary. I'll give you that.
my wife decided apparently that she wanted to record in that moment. She knew I was all worked up. I was was good through the first half, and then some of those bad
You
calls.
got us in the first half, but
Some of those bad calls started coming in, and I couldn't handle it anymore.
no, I get it, man. All right, anything last you want to throw in here? It's been over an hour. We just been rambling, but hey, it's whatever.
Hamlin. Defense looked good also. Yep. It's good to see Cobb in the mix in the last two games. That's true.
Oh, yeah.
What about the missed intentional grounding before halftime? I mean, I don't want to go too deep into the reffing because that was such a.
It was bad.
It was terrible.
It was just bad.
I know they were trying to
both
talk
sides.
about. Yep, I know how they were trying to talk about how Green Bay benefited from pass interferences early on, but what happened in the second half was and with that intentional grounding was just. I mean, it got really really bad. But that's that's all I want to comment on that. But
Good. You ready to close it down?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to close
Let's do
down.
Wednesday.
Wednesday night, it'll be Sunday before we know it.
Yes, sir. And we'll be back on here to do our player pick'em, so don't you worry. Everybody in the comment section, those watching, yeah, you're 0-2. I'm 2-0. Thanks for tuning in. We love doing this, chatting some Packers with people just like you. And check us out on Twitter, GP Daily, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Shoot me a message on any of these platforms about anything you'd like to hear about, your feedback on the show, page, or site. I kind of want to make this enjoyable for all you guys. Links are in the description of this video to mine and Johnathan's socials. So on behalf of Johnathan and myself, we'll catch you guys later.